right. Well, joining me on Great Keppel Island for Country on Keppel 2021, I have the pleasure of catching up with the one and only Brad Butcher. Brad.
G'day, Shaz. How are you?
Yeah, good. And it's great to be chatting with you again. Caught up here last year.
Yep.
Nice to be back on Great Keppel Island with this fantastic backdrop.
We nailed the weather today, didn't we?
Oh.
It's spot on.
I know. And obviously, you've been just up on stage earlier. What's it like being back?
Oh, it was great. The crowd here are always responsive. And I had a lovely time slot today too, so they were just getting warmed up.
Yeah. and speaking of getting warmed up, because you actually had a few of your fans, new fans.
A couple of stage invaders, yeah.
Has that ever happened to you before?
It doesn't happen very often, no. That's maybe the first or second time.
And it was in the middle of a ballad as well.
It was song number one, and it was a ballad, and I think they were just keen to hear some music.
Get up and get dancing. Well, it's good that the crowds are really enjoying themselves. It's good to be back with live music. We were just quickly speaking before. You've been back out and about on the road of late, gigging. What's it been like?
Yeah, it's been kind of strange. I've been lucky being in Queensland. We've had a pretty much free reign the whole time. So a lot of gigs that my friends down south have had and were unable to get to, I've been getting the phone call, or people living in Queensland have been sort of the only ones available. And so like I said to you before, I felt like I'm jumping the picket line, taking on some of these gigs, but what do we do? I've got to work, and I wish my mates down south could too, but it's just the way it is at the moment.
Yeah, it's been it's been so tough for so many industries affected by COVID. The music industry has been one of the hardest hits because, venues closed down and then, where do musos and singers, songwriters, performers, that there's the outlet, and lots of festivals being cancelled. We're so lucky that this festival has been able to go ahead, and it's kicked off in great fashion.
I think a lot of, the arts in general has been sort of the last one to be thought of by governments and by many avenues that are able to help us. So we've had to sort of fend for ourselves again. And it's just ironic, when things go the other way and things aren't going well for other areas, we're the first ones to say, hey, let's put on a concert and raise some money. So it's like, where is it when you need it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, obviously. We just heard before that lots of people are buying merchandise here, which is fantastic, and I think that's the fans and those true music lovers getting behind their artists and saying, hey, we support you guys. Now, obviously, during this sort of crazy time that it has been, a lot of singer-songwriters have been using the time to work on new material. What's Brad Butcher been up to in that department?
Yeah, I've got a brand new album being mixed at the moment, so I did some songwriting. I tried to use my time wisely. We've got a new single we're working on at the moment, which should come out in the next month or two. It's a bit different to the past stuff, but I gave it a run here today, and it seems to go down well live. A song called Cutting People's Grass. It's a bit of tongue-in-cheek.
I heard that one, yeah. Because is that what you've also been doing a little bit?
Yeah. So it's a literal, truthful song. When COVID hit, I had to go back to work, and I wound up working for a company in Yeppoon called The Real Group, and I was just mowing lawns, and I was just an all-round handyman, I guess, whatever they needed. I was painting walls one day, but predominantly I was on a ride on mower, so fitting I had to write a song about it.
It's crazy how or where and when inspiration comes to you.
You never know. And when I write songs too, I rarely sit down with a real idea in mind about, hey, I'm writing a song about that today. So I had this tune, I had Cutting People's Grass. So it's just a matter of, let's just get all the right words and not stuff it up from that point. So
we heard that song today. What about, can you give us any more sneak peek details about the album, or is it tightly under wraps?
Oh, no. I've got no label constraints, or people aren't knocking down my door to get this next album. No. It's... after, a lot's happened in my life in the last few years, so I did have plenty to write about, as I guess lots of guys do now. But life took a real turn for the better, I now see. And I've got married. My daughter's almost 1. She turns 1 in a couple of weeks. Have another little girl due in 8 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just, I didn't see it coming, and but I'm really stoked to be where I am. So yes, lots of things have happened. The album is all about it. In my own way, I try not to write really literally, except for cutting people's grass, which is as literal as it gets. But in my roundabout way of writing songs, I've got this hopefully album filled with love and positivity, and hopefully it inspires people that the future is great, and it's no matter what we're going through in life, it's still a good place to be.
It sounds like it's an album that will be a real kind of snapshot of this point in time in your life, but a lot of people, and that's the incredible thing about music. I was only having this conversation with someone just before. Music, though it may be the story or the feelings or emotion of the songwriter, it can touch so many other people in so many different ways, and people take different things away from music.
Absolutely, yeah. Songs are incredible like that, and how they can change their meaning and stuff too as time goes on. Every album, though, like you said before, is a snapshot, so there's no doubt that this album for me, and I write so personally about everything I go through too, so every album that I create is a snapshot of that period of time in my life. And it's like a big diary, every album is just this evolution of me and my songwriting and where I am in life and people I've met and places I've visited. So I'm really excited for people to hear this new one, and I feel like it's the strongest bunch of songs I've ever put together on an album. But I'm totally biased, and I'll let everyone else decide that.
So it's getting mixed at the moment. So when's it due for release?
Release is going to be a while away. I've learnt that, from the last couple of albums in particular, once you put the album out, it's kind of like, well, there it is, it's done now.
Yeah.
You can do an album tour, but once that tour's over, it's like, well, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
So my intention is to release a good number of singles off this album and just hit the road, and hopefully the songs catch on and we can really build on the stuff that's happened with the other albums. And so in answering your question, the album will probably be released maybe mid to late next year, maybe 2023. We'll see. So
for anyone that wants to stay up to date with you and your music and where you are playing next,
yep.
What's the best way for folks to do so?
Facebook's an easy one. Everyone's on there. I've also got my website, bradbutcher.com. You can visit that and join the mailing list, subscribe, and I can send you out all the annoying emails, but I don't do it too often because I'm slack. I'll do it once every 6 to 8 weeks, I promise. No more than that.
Is that when you're not cutting grass?
Yes.
No.
In between day shifts.
Yeah. Fantastic. Woo!
Having a good time.
I think that might be one of your fans from Mill.
I think it was. Cheers.
You're getting mobbed and fangirled. I don't think anyone else has had this kind of attention.
I was polite to them at the start of my set, and I think that was the wrong thing to do. It's like I fed the bird and it kept coming back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, at least you've, everyone's enjoying themselves. And I have been asking everyone that I've spoken to, just off the cuff, Brad Butcher, being stuck on a tropical island, what would be your top 3 things that you would need to have?
On the road?
Yes.
On the road?
Yep.
Top 3 things. I've got to have my earbuds to listen to music.
Yep.
My guitar is really handy. And the third thing, I've got to have my phone, I guess, because everything's on there. Without that, I'm buggered. Yeah.
All right. Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. I know you're going to be back up on stage tomorrow for the songwriters in the round. But since we caught up last year here on Great Keppel Island, I was looking forward to catching up with you this year. So I'm glad everything's been going well in these crazy times, and look forward to catching up again soon.
Thanks, Shaz, mate. I'll see you in the morning. Thanks very much.
Will do.
See you, mate.